Hello everyone, welcome back to the Strawberry Lily channel. Today I will be reviewing a few items that I picked up from the Flower Nose Moonlight Mermaid collection. I picked up all 5 of the jewelry eyeshadow palettes along with 2 of the jewelry blushes. So I'll jump right into it and show you some arm swatches first off. 01 is called Stellar Sand. I actually think I'm going to give this one away to one of my friends whose birthday is coming up soon, so I apologize, but I will not be swatching this one. But you're not missing out though, don't worry, this is the most basic color story out of them all. It is literally described as just a brown toned eyeshadow palette on the Flower Nose website itself. So yeah, nothing revolutionary there. 02 is called Celestial Castle, and it is described as an oolong latte palette, which I think is such a unique and accurate description. I love the pinky brown undertones to this one. It's like warm, but not overwhelmingly so. Then we have 03 Ocean Siren, a tulip pink green palette. Very cute color combo again. This is the first palette that I did an eye look with. I was a little rushed that day, so it's not my best work to be honest, but you can see that, you know, the colors show up very nicely and true to pan. '04 is called Mermaid's Dream, and it is described as a pink, purple, and gold mermaid color story. And not just purple, but I do spy a Very Perry shade in the second to left pan there. So you know, we always have love for Very Perry, even though it was last year's Pantone color of the year. And then finally 05 is Moonlight Land, which is a cool toned velvet blue. That is the one I did on my eyes today, which I will also show you guys some application footage. And last but not least, we have 2 of the beautiful gradient jewelry blushes, one of which has a super trending blue blush portion. The blushes really do not swatch well with fingers, so again, I'm just going to show you some application footage so that you can get an idea. They're really light, but really smooth and even and buildable. I also received a free mirror and barrette as a gift with purchase, both of which are also amazing, good quality, and just gorgeous. This hand mirror in particular has already become my new favorite. I think there were a few colors available like blue, silver, pink. If I were to purchase one, I would have chosen the silver anyway, so it's just perfect. Total Disney princess vibes. So let me start off by saying that this was my first ever purchase from the Flower Nose brand. They have had a presence here in Japan for a while. Ever since they first came out a couple of years ago, I remember I have seen bits and pieces of their offerings in a few department stores, but there has never been really like one physical place that I could go to purchase Flower Nose products directly. So up until now, none of their past collections have compelled me to go as far as ordering from online because I didn't want to deal with the long wait time essentially. Well, it turns out that I was actually correct about this aspect. It took exactly 2 months from the day I placed my order to the day that my package arrived in my mailbox, which is not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it clearly said on the Flower Nose Japan website, the Moonlight Mermaid collection is not shipping out until June, blah blah. And this happens with smaller niche Japanese brands as well, don't get me wrong. They'll do the whole pre-order thing and then ship out the actual items 3 months later. So I don't think it has anything to do necessarily with the fact that Flower Nose is a Chinese brand or a foreign brand. I mean, the products I got anyway were all marked with like Japanese labels, so it's clearly for domestic consumption. But anyway, plenty of smaller brands do the whole pre-order thing, so that's fair enough. I decided that I would just have to deal with being patient for the dreamy mermaid theme this time, and it was ultimately worth the wait, I will say. But I am hoping that in the future they will establish a more permanent or physical presence here in Japan, not just pop-up stores and things like that, because it really does suck the fun out of things, for me at least, to be made to wait so long. You know, there's a limit.
The limit does not exist
to how long you can wait in anticipation for something before it just becomes a drag. Okay, so about the products themselves, well, I guess we can start with the packaging, which this is usually the first thing that hooks people into Flower Nose to begin with, right? Honestly, I am very, very impressed with the packaging. This is coming from a kawaii makeup packaging snob that has lived in Tokyo for the past 12 years, okay? I have very high standards when it comes to presentation and things like that, but I will say point blank that this packaging is 10 out of 10 to me. The details on all the compacts are all extremely ornate and beautiful without being gaudy. They are not different from color story to color story though. So what I mean by that is all the eyeshadow palettes have the exact same design, right? With the castle on the front here and the mermaid draped across the night sky. So it's the exact same mold, just with different colors for the, you know, the marbly night sky part. And then same thing with the blush compacts. Exact same casing designs, identical embossing on the powders themselves, just different colors. And I actually think that this is great in the sense that it kind of helps to curb the FOMO or completionist tendencies, hoarding, you could say, that some of us may struggle with, right? Not naming names. Like, you can rest assured that you're not missing out on some special packaging detail or design by not buying the whole collection. No, you can literally just pick your favorite color story, just buy one palette, and you know that your packaging is the exact same as all of the others. Done. Similarly with the outer packaging boxes. I'm sorry, this might just be my weird YouTuber makeup reviewer brain that's constantly internally battling about like which pretty cardboard packaging that I need to throw out, what's a good timing to do so, etc. I review a lot of products, so things pile up. But yeah, it is kind of relieving to me that all of the outside boxes, so you can tell like all of the outside boxes, they're very pretty, very up to international standards and whatnot, but they're not too nice to the point where it like hurts my soul to get rid of them, if that makes sense. They're nice enough to feel confident that I spent my money on a quality product, but then just plain enough so that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can part with this, no problem. The compacts themselves, they feel great in the hands as well, like super smooth, no sharp corners at all. You don't have to worry about accidentally cutting your finger somewhere. All the palettes are covered with this beautiful like rose gold pinky iridescent coating. Very, very aesthetic, very made for TikTok, I must say. And they also have magnetic closures, both the palettes and the blushes, which I find very chic and elegant. Not that there's anything wrong with a classic snap closure. Okay, formula wise, what do I think? In a nutshell, I have to say that Flower Nose really, really exceeded my expectations, both on the eyeshadows and the blushes. The eyeshadow, I will say, is definitely one of those formulas that do not swatch on the arm as well as it actually performs on, you know, the eyelids. So my initial reaction to the finger swatchers was a little bit apprehensive, like, okay, I detect some slight chalkiness that could potentially cause some issues. But let me tell you, on the eyes, okay, at least with, you know, a good solid eyeshadow primer on underneath, these eyeshadows blend out so evenly and seamlessly. Even the much lighter pastel-y shades, like, you know, the purples and the minty greens, the pinks and the blues, they are all very, very consistent in performance across the board. Very buildable, so you can work in layers, but you can absolutely achieve 100% opacity with this formula. Now, the shade of the shadow itself, it only, you know, it may only go so deep, right? I think this charcoaly brown shade that I have on my eyes today might be the deepest out of everything in this collection. But as far as opacity, you can achieve 100% for sure. You can get it to look exactly like the color presents in the pan, which I think is really a feat, right? That cannot be said for every Asian brand out there. So it's like chalky and buttery at the same time, which is a good thing, meaning that the powder is super finely milled. And the shimmer shades, on the other hand, if I could describe them in one word, it would be exquisite. Okay, I've noticed a uniqueness in the glitter and shimmer formulas of Chinese brands in particular, in that they are usually made of really fine micro glitter particles. So it's different from Korean glitters, for example, where they have like different sizes and sometimes chunkier formulations. Chinese glitters are micro fine. They typically have a base that gives a really wet, glistening effect when applied on the skin. Super pretty and universally flattering. And Flower Nose's glitter formulation definitely fits this profile as well. They are extremely reflective, like you can see them from outer space. Also, the thing I love most about this glitter style is that it can truly suit any eye shape or size. Even if you have smaller or more delicate featured eyes, you can still look super glam without having the glitter overwhelm your eye. I must also mention that a common problem I run into sometimes when applying eyeshadow, sometimes the eyeshadow will latch onto certain areas of my lids or skin, and it will be really hard to blend out, or I just won't be able to even out the pigmentation no matter how many layers I add on. Different brushes, nothing really works. Well, this is probably the most impressive formula that I've worked with yet when it comes to solving that problem. It's just so like buildable, and it allows me to really fine-tune, you know, every last millimeter of my eyelid down to a T, if that makes sense. I have truly not come across another eyeshadow formula yet that allows that level of adjustability. So kudos to Flower Nose. I can definitively say now, after having tried out some of their offerings for myself firsthand, they have managed to create truly unique products, unique formulations that are not able to be found anywhere else in the market. And on top of that, they actually perform really well. The whole presentation, from the concept to the packaging, it's all solid and top-notch as far as I'm concerned. Alright, so that's all I have for you guys. Let me know if you picked anything up from this collection, or if you're considering anything, what catches your eye the most. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!